That's what I always tell many people, that if you want to do a startup, first work in a startup.
Yeah.
We started it as basic home loan that will solve the problem of housing in India. We want to get rid of slums. And I got to know he's also from IT Delhi, so that actually eased me कि ठीक है senior ही है यार कोई बात नहीं. There's a misconception in Indian market or any market that the cheapest loan is the best loan for you.
I would say that probably it worked in your favor that you didn't have a PPT, because people who know me know that I'm an Excel junkie.
Yeah.
So probably that was a blessing in disguise. Again, luck playing a role, no?
I clearly remember when we met, we kind of started spending time on the category, and I think you went into significant level of detail, showcasing that you understand the sector very, very well.
We actually did a case of a Shamshan Ghat owner.
Okay.
He wanted 4 crore rupees to buy a house. Firstly, I was surprised कि इतनी कमाई है. With Bertelsmann's experience, Rohit's experience, your experience, sir, you have seen multiple people like me that what they have done in the past. So that is actually a learning for me.
Building on that, Pankaj and Rohit from BII sit down with Atul in this episode to unpack how his vision is simplifying home loans in India.
So we'll start with your journey actually. What is the road that led to actually basic home loans? Would love to understand that.
I was studying in IT Delhi. 2008 financial crisis happens. So at that time, you see all those people, that term masters of universe, investment banking. Actually, after my, graduation, I wanted to work as an investment banker. Luckily, I landed up a job in Credit Suisse. And it was in a back-end department in Delhi, in Mumbai. हमेशा से there was a conviction कि नहीं यार, I have to work full time. So after 1 year of working in a back-end, I got opportunity to move to Hong Kong to work in the financial institutions group, work there for some time. Then my brother is an entrepreneur. He started a company in 2011. He sold it to Snapdeal. So my cousin is an entrepreneur. If you have heard of this company called Jaipur.com, he was successfully building it. So I had a work to build something of my own. So I came back to India, started a company which was into local services space, like Urban Clap. So it was 3 years before Unclap I tried to do that. And I had some savings from my job at Hong Kong and all in IBU, get some good money. So spent all the money, was not able to raise any capital, didn't have any money to, again went back to Credit Suisse. This time they asked me to join in Singapore. Again worked over there. And during working over there, I was working with a lot of, Chinese companies for their IPOs. And someone gave me a tip at that time, which actually, was very good for me. It actually built my career. So while working for these companies in China for their IPOs, my last deal which I worked on was the Alibaba's IPO. So someone told me what's happening in China right now will happen in India in next 10 years. So exactly in 2021, we had the first Indian startups IPO, thing started. So that actually triggered me again I have to do something on my own. So this time I thought that earlier I started a company without any experience of working in a startup. So I came back, I thought of working in startup space. So I worked with a lot of fintech companies, with a company called Rubik, then with Paisa Bazaar. In 2020, COVID happened and so the company was not ready to do what we were doing. So they asked me to fire a 150 member team which I built.
Wow.
But when you build a sales team, it's actually a family you're building. And that's something I've learned in my life, that, it's very difficult to build a good sales team. So had a conviction. Again, God has been very helpful. I'll say that a major part is luck in at least my journey. So luckily I got a call from Picus Capital, and their MD told me that they are looking for a CBO, business head kind of role in a real estate company they have in Germany. So they wanted me to move to Germany.
Okay.
And I was not interested. And on that call only, I just pitched them an idea that, okay, I want to do something in India in affordable housing space, in home loan space. So they, set up a call with Alex Semver. He's the founder of Picus Capital, owner of Picus Capital. So there, on that call, it was decided that they will give me a 500K check and we can try it out. So no company there, nothing there. So luckily, I was able to save employment of those 150 people. And about 70-80 of them are still in our company.
So you got some of them who were eventually going to get fired from that company.
All of them were fired.
Oh, all of them were fired, and,
Yes.
and most of them then ended up coming to basic?
All of them ended up in basic.
Oh, wow.
But eventually now we have 70, 80 of them left.
Okay.
And so I don't say I have one or two co-founders. I say I have 70, 80 co-founders in the company. From RM level to, CEO level, we have co-founders in the company. People, if you come to our office, you will see people working even at a RM, the lowest part of our company level. They will, work like this, that is their company. So we always strike like this, that we are not building this company for exit. We are building this company for our next generation, that they don't have to make their CVs. They will say, मेरे पापा का company है, मैं वही job करूँगा.
Wow.
So that is the thing we discuss internally. And so yeah, it's been now 5 years.
Super interesting. And you mentioned that you started earlier also around 2011, 2012
Yes.
in the services thing and built that for 3 years. I remember there were a lot of startups, Pankaj,
Yeah.
you would recall at that time, which were trying to, service that category. How were the first 2-3 years over here building basic? Was it any different? We met probably in the fourth year of your journey.
Yes.
How was this journey different than the previous one?
I'll say it was more structured. Earlier, when I started, I didn't even know how to make a website. I didn't know how to do, anything. There was nothing called data in my company. It was more like you're running a shop.
Yeah.
And probably that was the reason that I didn't get the funding. So that's what I always tell many people, that if you want to do a startup, first work in a startup.
Yeah.
So I worked for around 5 years.
Yeah.
And again, there is a hesitation to start up. Once you are working in a, fixed salary kind of job, they say that it is kind of drug that you don't want to move out. But again, I said luck is the thing, that it was a situation that we were supposed to move out. It was a situation that we got an investor and everything started. Otherwise, I would have continued. So I was, I'll say someone, something you can say forced us to start it.
Right.
And gave us resources to start it. And now after 5 years, I can say I'll not be able to work anywhere. If something bad happens, I'll again start something.
Wow.
Because it's always good to drive things rather than just running a strategy.
Tell me a little bit about, I mean, we've of course discussed it many times. How did home loans as a topic kind of become interesting for you? What problem statement did you see, and what are you solving today?
So a bit about the 5-year stint in the startup. So first I worked with a company called Rubik.
Yeah.
So I helped them raise their first 3 million check from Kalari. And then the founder asked me to join them. I was actually going to join a VC fund. I got an offer from one of the VC funds in India, but I thought, okay, I want to work. So there I see the offline market in India, the DSA market in India. So they were like a DSA aggregators. And I saw that how DSAs works in India. And then while working in Paisa Bazaar, I saw the complete digital side. So then I realized that, home loan is a complex product. It can never be done completely online. It can never be done completely offline. So you have to make some kind of, hybrid journey or phygital journey, as we call. So, and again, during COVID, the problem statement was on TV screens. People were moving out of cities. They didn't have houses. So I think that was the right time to, solve for this problem. And that's why we only chose home loan. We named the company as Basic Home Loan. We could have named it Basic Finance or, Basic FinTech. We started it as Basic Home Loan, that will solve the problem of housing in India. We want to get rid of slums.
By the way, it's an amazing name. Basic Home Loan is a very clear name which kind of talks about the problem statement that you're solving. So great choice of the name, man.
And I think that focus speaks volume as well. When I remember our early days, that's the one thing that attracted me towards the company as well, because there have been many lending marketplaces, so to say, and successful one at that as well. But this particular category is something, that needs its own focus, because it's not something that you can fulfill sitting afar. It's something, and I think you once put it beautifully, that home loan is something where the decision of taking a home is actually interlinked very much with decision of taking a loan, right? They're not separate, right? Loan and home purchase decision are together. Actually, if you think about any other loan category, that's not the case, right? And hence in this, we thought that there was a different approach is needed. It's a longer customer journey. It's not transactional at all. There is emotion involved. It takes multiple on-ground steps. It needs to be phygital, as you mentioned. And that focus that was required to crack this category actually is reflected in the name and the approach as well, right? So that was wonderful. In this category, then we met actually in 2024. I remember that, Rishabh from Dexter had been actually sending me company updates probably for months. And I definitely had it in my mind. that I need to meet Atul because I was watching the progress, from afar. And it was a great first meeting, actually, I have to say. I was not sure whether we are a lending company or a mortgage company. I just remembered the numbers and the growth trajectory that you saw. I would love to know what was your first impressions, of the meetings and, how was your fundraise experience?
So in December, and Rishabh told me to share the deck. Actually, when I met Rohit, my deck was not finalized. I told him that the deck is not complete. I'll show you the Excel sheet for numbers. And I was late for the meeting because I went to some other Unitech Plaza, not your office. I was late by half an hour. So and then I got to know he's also from IT Delhi, so that actually eased me कि ठीक है senior ही है यार कोई बात नहीं. So we discussed there. Initial meeting we discussed a lot about how different we are doing things. As you wanted to know more about how we are doing phygital. And there I tried to explain that this is a loan product where if I increase the eligibility of the customer, then he can probably have a better option. Means it's a there's a misconception in Indian market or any market that the cheapest loan is the best loan for you. It depends how much money you are getting. Suppose your EMI is increased by some bips or maybe 3,000, 4,000 rupees per month, but you can probably buy a 4 BHK, not a 3 BHK in a better location where appreciation is higher. So then that loan is better for you.
Yeah.
So that kind of decisioning is there. So I tried to explain those things. It was a good meeting, and after the first meeting, then there was a long data request. It kept on
I would
coming.
say that probably it worked in your favor that you didn't have a PPT because people who know me know that I'm an Excel junkie. So probably that was a blessing in disguise. Again, luck playing a role, no? And what were the first, like, were there many people involved? How did the fundraise overall process went for you?
So, when we started the round, we took a target that we'll get a term sheet in 1 quarter before meeting even you. So, we met on 5th January. And then idea was to get the term sheet by 31st March. It's just not like that we had liquidity issues and all. It was more like कि यार लंबा नहीं खींचना है, बहुत time लग जाता है.
Do it in a disciplined fashion. Why do it otherwise?
So, I remember Keshav and then Rishabh was there from Dexter. And then Ayushi from Bertelsmann. So for 2-3 months there was a lot of data exchange. You wanted all kinds of cards, but luckily we got our term sheet on 30th March. Within that quarter, yes, within that quarter. So you told me that you want to invest in the early first week of the March only, but then eventually you said that I'm talking to IC. It will take some time, and eventually it closed on 30th March that we got the term sheet.
Exactly. And Pankaj, you recall something about your first meetings and impressions?
Yeah, I think we have of course been looking at the home loan space for some time. I remember meeting some of the other companies in Bombay and other places also. I think most of the companies that we met in the home loan space were all fundamentally HFCs. They were the home loan finance companies, and what at least our understanding was that there are significantly large number of home finance companies in the country anyways. Again, there are wide gaps also in affordable lending and so on, but there is significant competition at least in tier 1, tier 2. So as and when we went and met those HFCs or lending companies, I was not very clear what their moat was vis the competition, if they were playing in the same segment as the traditional companies. So from that perspective, honestly, I was looking at, number one, a slightly different approach to that segment. And also number two, I was looking at somebody who understood the segment very well, because this is a segment where, lenders have operated for a long period of time. And Atul, I clearly remember when we met, we kind of started spending time on the category. And I think you went into significant level of detail, showcasing that you understand the sector very, very well. And I think that for us, Rohit and I, and when we kind of finished the meeting and we kind of came out, we said that, listen, we think that Atul, what he's number one building, he and the team understand it deeply. Tomorrow, as we want to do lending, this is a team that can build that part also. But the fact that we are building a distribution muscle, which in this business is very important, that for us was pretty exciting. And actually that is what that part is a venture capital backable part, because that has a hockey stick growth and so on, which is what we have demonstrated in the next year after we invested. I think the grit and the passion and the vision that you brought on the table, plus the deep understanding of the domain that you and your team showed, I think those were the two very strong positives that at least I came out of after meeting you in the first few meetings.
No, I completely agree.
So actually, when we started now, so Pikers gave us 500K with this vision that after 1 year we'll start HFC.
Okay.
But in our first year only, we realized when we went for our next round of funding, we realized that capital is not the problem in the country.
Yeah.
It's the distribution. Top 5 cities contribute about 70, 80, 90% of home loans in India.
Yeah.
Beyond top 100 cities, the mortgage penetration is less than 1%. So we thought, yeah, distribution is the game, and we wanted to be one ring to control them all, that we become the master funnel for all the HFCs because everyone is ready to give money. So that was the vision, and that's why we focus more on distribution.
No, we like that a lot. And in fact, what we also realized as we started then diligencing the sector, what we realized was there were a few companies traditionally who had built something similar, but they were still working in the eras of 1990s and so on, and they had not done a lot of tech innovation into this topic. And you were coming in with significant amount of tech innovation to make the process a lot more seamless and better workflows, etc. So I think we felt that could definitely have an edge over what the incumbents have been doing traditionally in the sector.
And the whole role of tech and the way we had stitched it together, I found the B2B2C approach, the way we had taken it, to be actually game changing. And your energy, by the way, is infectious. I don't know how to bring that out. You're always, brimming with energy, and we're able to convince us, Pankaj, on TAM, on defensibility, on the need of the market. And I think it was for us, it was a straightforward decision. It was a linear curve, and our diligence actually supported it both domestically and globally. But then we signed the term sheet end of March, and I know it took some time to close it. We had to structure things differently within the company as a result of the finding. But I would love to know, what was going on in your head or team discussions, etc. Were you afraid about the round? Just on a lighter level, like what were you thinking during that?
So basically, you asked as a question that there are a lot of non-compliant models in this industry. I think Khetan asked this question in DD that we have to prove that we are a compliant model. So that, and plus we had to justify all the numbers which we have shared and all those things. So basically there was a fear.
Yeah.
Because,
which is, by the way, not unique, right? There have been other investments where we had to structure, a little bit based on DD findings.
Yeah.
But it's just, interesting to know a founder's view during that time, because
See, at that time, actually, I was afraid because the idea was not that whether we'll get funds or not. The idea was that if say some investor come in your company, they give you a term sheet, and then in DD, they ask a question which you are not able to answer, and they say, okay, we are not investing. Then in the market, the news will go that there is something wrong in the company. So no one will touch us. So it was like a mission for us that we have to close this in any possible way. Whatever we can do, we have to close the round. Otherwise, it might have become a survival, because if I go to a next investor and they will immediately ask me a question, why Bertelsmann didn't invest even though they have given you term sheet. So that was the biggest fear, and it will actually come down to me and my co-founder's reputation also, that we might be running it in a wrong way.
But I think full kudos to you and your team, where you took our feedback and had a very pragmatic approach or a view to that problem statement, and very quickly put together a structure which we think is 100% compliant. I'm quite shocked that most of the industry or all of the industry outside of us does run in a non-compliant fashion. Probably a couple of them might be compliant, but most of them are not. And that was the shocking part to me. And I'm glad that we went down the path of taking the hard call now, so that going forward, we are in a much better position as and when the regulator takes a slightly negative view on the other competitors, and it actually can act as a very strong moat for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, personally for me, see, I was never in doubt that, we would not go through with it because it was a solvable problem. But the speed at which you guys executed and the way it was solved end to end, not just from structuring, but product and flows, etc. I think that was impressive enough and probably a leading indicator of times to come. And then we closed it, and the journey has been superb in my view post that, and what all we can achieve from here. I would also love to understand that what's the most exciting part about the company? What is the mission that you have in your mind that drives you every day?
See, mission is simple. We, as I told you, that we want to get rid of slums.
Yeah.
It's a very, 30,000-40,000 feet view ki a simple statement, and I think that can be done if we enter more into tier 2, tier 3 cities. And that is actually exciting part of my job also, because I get to travel a lot into these small cities in India, and people actually go there for as an adventure or fun, and I have to do it for job. So now last year we did business in 150 cities in India. or districts, you can say, in 150 districts in India. And now we have a physical presence in around 30 locations through which we do this. Say I'm going to a place nearby Jaipur, then you are eating food over there, you are meeting people over there. That's actually exciting. People want to do that in their life, and I'm getting it for my job. Then obviously from the commercial point of view also, if you see, it's a big opportunity. I can actually tell cases of my customers, and as we were talking about Jaipur, so we actually did loan of a lady in a place called Kishangarh near Jaipur. So she asked for a 15 lakh rupee loan.
Okay.
So we got it done. And then she started, complaining that 15 lakh मांगे थे 15 lakh दे दिया. And I was like, ये problem क्या है? She raised a complaint. She said, इसमें 2 lakh तो आप ले जाओगे. I was shocked. People are paying that much money just to get a small loan.
2 lakh आप ले जाओगे मतलब market is taking 2 lakh rupees back
Fees.
as a fees.
Yes.
Agents are leaking in between.
Yes.
We don't do that, right?
We don't do that. We don't charge anything.
So she
from
got
this.
the full 15 lakhs.
And then she'll pay 2 lakhs to that. If any agent would have helped her, any DSA or those kind of person, so she would have to give 2 lakh rupees back to that guy.
Oh my goodness.
Which is not even allowed, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's a grey area. It's not allowed. There are no. It's like the regulation says that you cannot give money to someone to take loan. So now it's actually you're paying money for the loan thing.
Yeah.
Idea is that these are the problems we're trying to
Got a
solve.
pleasant surprise when no money was supposed to
Yeah, she was very happy. She was a single lady, and actually, home loan is something where you are not only taking a loan, you are creating a generational wealth.
Yeah.
Because once your house is built, it is for ages, for your next generations also.
Yeah.
She is now happy that she, her next generation is secured. अगर उनके बेटे को आगे पढ़ना है, तो she has something. She can sell the property and fund that education. So those kinds of things we see. And in the beginning when we started, the industry was very, there was no technology. It was very operations heavy, and there were funny instances every day. So like I remember one case in which the banker gave a rejection that this cannot be done because घर के सामने की गली छोटी है, वहां से गाड़ी भी नहीं आ सकती. I remember one of our RMs actually went to that place. He asked someone to make a video. He actually drove the car back and forth, gave it to the credit manager कि देखो गाड़ी चल तो रही है, आप क्यों नहीं लोन करोगे?
Oh wow.
And then it went through?
Yes.
Oh wow. That is hands-on execution.
One more thing I remember. So we actually did a case of a Shamshan Ghat owner.
Okay.
He wanted 4 crore rupees to buy a house. Firstly, I was surprised कि इतनी कमाई है इस धंधे में. So bank said, so it was with Axis Bank, I remember. So Axis said that your income is in cash, we cannot do the loan. So the guy came and his appearance was also like, the person working in a Shamshan Ghat said, जब आप मर के मेरे यहाँ आओगे ना, कैश में पैसा देंगे आपके घर वाले, क्रेडिट कार्ड स्वाइप नहीं करेंगे.
It went through?
Yes, it went through.
Wow.
He got it through their average bank balance kind of, through that scenario, he got the case. So these kind of things happen. I just finishing that these are not rule-based kind of lending. There is a lot of subjectivity. And that is actually a problem also. And if solved, it becomes a moat also.
And how do we solve? See, if there is so much of subjectivity, maybe we can very quickly summarize what is a home loan journey look like, and what is the pain that customer goes through, and how do we solve it at scale? Like our mission is to actually, as you said, remove slums, building affordable housing in all parts of the country. As a company, how do we get to that point?
Sure. So let me just explain first the home loan. So it's a complex product because you not only evaluate the customer, you evaluate the property also.
Yeah.
Now put a layer of complexity that the customer don't have any kind of fixed income.
Yeah.
Now he's a self-employed customer. Now put a layer of complexity that his income is in cash, or he gets, that kacha kind of income, or he gets income through check and all. Now put a complexity that the property is in a remote place and you have to get the legal evaluation, technical evaluation done. So all these things cannot be digitized instantly. There is a lot of, I'll say, bhasad over there, और जहाँ भसड़ है वहाँ बरकत आएगी. So we thought we started. So in the beginning, yes, there were problems. So we had to put people in place to handhold the customer throughout the journey. So suppose you have to get your property verified with the lender for the loan. You have to work with some third parties for legal evaluation, technical evaluation, then title search and all those things. So our RMs were doing it. And then also from the customer side, I'll not say that it's a clear-cut marketplace, because in a marketplace you choose the product. It's more like matchmaking, that you have to choose, the lender has to choose you.
Yeah.
So, and the customer also has to choose the lender. So it's more like matchmaking. So matchmaking part we can do digitally. Remaining things we have to do offline. now, I believe from past 2-3 years, we are more confident that we can do it because these subjective things could not have been solved 5 years earlier through a rule-based kind of technology. But with the advent of AI, where subjective decisioning can be done, and we created India's first home loan AI bot. So I believe we are well positioned now to take those subjective calls, which is based on data, or maybe if you want to understand the credit policy of a bank. Earlier, what we used to do was we used to create some rule engines out of it. And policy is very comprehensive. There are deviations in it. You cannot 100% digitize it. But now we feed into a AI engine, and it can give you the result whether this case can be done or not. If there can be any deviation in the policy.
What kind of accuracy are you seeing in your AI models?
So earlier, our login to sanction ratios has always been around 70-75%. Now we launched this bot, I guess 3-4 months back. Now we are almost touching 80%, and we'll keep on building on it.
As your company builds a lot of data of these subjective assessments, etc., would the AI become a lot more powerful for you?
Yes. So that was actually our benefit, that we already had data. So we were able to build this engine. So this Homie, we call this AI bot which we have built. So it has various agents, sub-agents, one for property evaluation, one for credit evaluation. So it has been built over about 45,000 crores of sanctions which we have done. And 2 million minutes of call recordings we had. So, we have built those workflows that we don't share numbers of customer to anyone. So my RM calls through my app, and those recordings are saved with us so that we can use it.
So all of that data was there?
Yes, that was there. So
how many customers' data would you have?
So it will be more than, it will be around 4 lakh customers.
How many applications have we processed? You mentioned
4 lakh applications.
$2.5 billion worth of loan applications or something like that, right?
Those are sanctions. 2.5 billion are sanctions, and in fact more than that it would be. On a monthly basis, we process about 6 to 8,000 crores of applications.
Wow.
So that is the data we get, and the best part about our business is that we get almost all data about a customer: their demographic data, their financial data, then their property data, then their income data, their bank account details, all those things we get.
How many lenders do you have at the back end?
It's around 120 now.
And how many are there in the market? I mean, all the relevant ones. Do you have all the relevant ones?
Yeah. After that, there are very small lenders which where we don't want to work with.
Then can I say that a bank would be seeing a sliver of the data that you are seeing? You are actually seeing the entire home loan universe in India, while the a bank, one of the top banks, etc., would be seeing only a fraction of that.
Yes.
And therefore, from a data perspective, you are a far more data-rich company than any large lending institution.
So there have been cases both in terms of building the product strategy as well as building the tech strategy. Banks have contacted us, and we have gave them that kind of strategy. We have actually done research for them based on the data we have. Obviously, we don't share customer data, but on a summary level, we share with them.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's why AI has been a huge tailwind for us also. Right?
Yes.
I have to admit, it's complete upside, to what we were building.
Our per RM productivity has been increasing because of that.
What's the next thing in AI for you? What are you building now?
So we have actually, we are actually building 2-3 more agents under that AI. So first is, today we are only able to do pre-approved properties through our bot. So now we are building it for properties in tier 2, tier 3 cities, those khasara khatwani kind of houses. So we're trying to get some kind of data source or some kind of thing so that we can actually build over there. So that is one part where we want to build more. Then secondly, in terms now today our bot tells us, okay, this is the bank. Now it is built agile enough that I can actually integrate it with Android apps or Google apps of the lender. So we want that a customer should come to our website. He just put his phone number. We extract all their data and everything with their consent, and then we show them the bank offer. They select a bank, and then it's the complete bank journey we do. Then the phygital part or the physical part in our journey would be only to sign the final agreement and give it to the bank.
And Atul, so these are great innovations, and we see the outcome. But this bot that we're talking about, AI bot Homie, this is the first to the market, as a mortgage platform. And there are others also, right? We have innovated. We're the first company to go directly to builders and work out. There have many firsts that you have done. Like, what's the how do you set a culture of innovation behind the scenes? What has led to that? And what more can we expect in the future on the innovation side?
Yeah, so from day one we wanted to do something different. Like, in home loans also there are different kind of TAMs.
Yeah.
One is obviously that you can go for high ticket or luxurious housing kind of projects. We never go after that. Because we believe that's a very crowded market, and actually the customer don't want any kind of help over there.
Yeah.
Most of them will go to tier 1 or tier 2, but maximum tier 1 banks or maybe some PSUs to take the loan. It's actually the mid India where the problem is, because even the lower part of the India, that's very complicated. We will take it up sometime in the future. But the mid billion population is something we want to work with. And there we found that now there is a trend in the market. That people are buying more apartments directly from the builders rather than just buying those kind of row houses. They are now buying the apartments. So when we entered into the market, and again the innovation is actually we try to innovate as we get the feedback from the market. So we got in the market and we thought that why don't we do this builder apartment kind of cases. So we got to know that no one wants to do it, because these are mostly construction linked plans. And you are paid in a staggered way as and when the demand is raised by the builder. Now again think of the affordable housing segment, where the property value may be 30-40 lakhs and every 6 months the demand is for 5-6 lakh rupees. The amount of money which an agent could make will be very small, so they technically don't try to do that. So we built online journeys over there so that we keep our costs low. And I'll say that this is a segment where we were the first to focus and build tech journeys. And now after us, many people have started doing it, but we can claim in market that we are the pioneers of that. Similarly, there were in many areas we find that our agents are asking us something. Like some of our agents came to us and say that, okay sir, आपका नाम बताता हूँ ना तो customer थोड़ा convince हो जाता है. So we thought that why not give this brand to them. So we started our franchising business, where now we have 55 stores across India, and target is to reach about 150-200 stores by the end of next year. We don't sit down and say that okay क्या आज नया करें. It's more like कि problem statement
Throw
comes.
yourself at a problem that's not been solved.
Problem throws at us कि business रुक गया. See, sales वाला बंदा रोज आके complain करेगा, सर टारगेट नहीं हुआ, ये प्रॉब्लम थी. तो फिर बैठ जाते हैं, चलो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करते हैं, कुछ बनाते हैं.
Makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
And Atul, if I were to ask, what are the hard challenges that you face? And I would love to also understand, about our relationship. Where do you think, Bertelsmann have helped you?
Why did you take Bertelsmann money first?
It was available first time shipping. This is the correct. Okay.
But did
So
you do
thing
any
is-
DD on us? Did you?
Yeah. So I actually talked to few people. I even talked to Sahil at Shiprocket and got a very good feedback. And it was the best thing which I liked was, I'll be very honest there, I got a feedback that it's a patient capital. And I believed our industry is something which will be built over a period of time. If someone wants a return in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, we might not be the right investment. It might take some time, but there will be a good outcome. So when I got to know that this is a patient capital, that you people will, support us over the journey, that was the biggest thing. Because otherwise, if you say like now also we are discussing how we can, grow first and then go for other kind of fundraisers and all. Whereas if I would have taken money from some other investor, there would always a pressure कि next round कब हो रहा है, valuation कब बढ़ रही है. So उसमें फिर आप business पे you cannot focus. Your focus is always on raising money.
Yeah.
So that was actually the trigger for me.
Yeah. And that's what, by the way, where we sync up as well. That's what I like a lot about you, because it's not just about investors. Sometimes, we find founders also can lose sight in the short term and focus too much about fundraising and, valuation jumps. But the way our discussions go, exactly as you mentioned about innovations as well, just what is the problem? How do we solve it? Valuations will follow, outcomes will follow, and just, let's get to the crux of it. Those discussions, I think I have thoroughly enjoyed. But this was at the time of diligence, as Pankaj said, that's why you took the money. How has been the experience post that? You feel free to say good, bad and ugly, everything is fine.
It mostly has been good. And there have been, those kind of bad episodes also. But I think that's part of the journey. But we both work very closely. आप मुझे कई बार यही बोल देते हो कि मैं थोड़ा कंपनी चला रहा हूँ, मतलब इस लेवल का है तो कि मुझसे क्यों पूछने आ जाते हो स्ट्रेटेजी का. So those kind of things have also happened. So it's more like कि I also enjoy that thing, because see, I'll say in a formal way, this is my first startup. Means it's not like that I have built many companies. So many a times I might doubt कि ये करें कि ना करें, what should I do? But with Bertelsmann's experience, Rohit's experience, your experience, sir, you have seen multiple people like me that what they have done in the past. So that is actually a learning for me. Many times there are scenarios when you are in self doubt कि यार ये फट ना जाए आगे चल के कुछ. So at least वो validation मिलता है, वो market experience मिलता है. So that is actually very helpful for me.
Yeah.
And then obviously you have been helping me in hiring and many other things.
Yeah.
So that is actually
I think the
good for
biggest
us.
value add that at least we also try to do is at least make sure that we are fully aligned with the founders and giving them enough room to the founders to build the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually fully agree that given the Bertelsmann's balance sheet capital, and we are quite happy to have them as our LPs, it gives us the breathing room to then give the same sort of view to you and other founders to build the company for the long term. Which is why I think we don't have pressures. Oh, we need to show the next round as a big up round. Of course, if the company is doing well, I'm sure up rounds will happen. But if the company needs a little bit of fixing, tweaking, etc., let's do it now than artificially jump up the revenue for some reason so that an up round can happen and then cause pain at a later point when the business has become large and complex. That itself is a disaster. I think from our perspective, at least our view is, listen, at the end of the day, all of us are going to make money probably 5, 7, 10 years down the line. That is the price that we should all think about. We should not be thinking about the intermediate steps there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure capital is needed, so I will not say that we don't have to show progress. We have to show progress, but a little bit here and there absolutely should not kind of bother us at all. And that's the mindset that we go with in order to build the businesses.
And on my part, I love our discussions here. Long may the heated discussions continue.
Thank you.
है ना? Yeah.
I thought आप हमेशा piss off होते होगे मुझसे
कभी भी
मिलने
नहीं
के
यार.
बाद.
Oh,
Yeah,
by the way, I can tell you, Rohit loves these conversations.
Even to that point, ki company manager, that is my way of telling you that believe in your convictions. मैंने थोड़ी
So we
करना
book a
है.
meeting for 1 hour or 2 hours. It always lands up for 3 hours or 4
No,
hours.
I love it.
By the way, we don't believe in one-hour meetings. If you are going into a particular topic and going into the nitty-gritties of it at the ground level, how can you discuss something in 1 hour and go? In 1 hour, I can do an MIS call, get your top line numbers and go away.
Yeah.
But I can't, as partner, go in with you and solve a problem. If I have to solve a problem with you, I need to be there with you as a proper partner, sitting down, understanding the problem statement and trying to firm up with the answer. Again, we're not saying we know all the answers. We will give you a few ideas. We'll give you a few ideas that we have seen work in companies in other topics. We may ask you some relevant questions, but besides that, honestly, we can't give you the answers. You are the entrepreneur, you are the founder who is running this business, and your knowledge far exceeds our knowledge in on any given day.
Actually, that was also one of the points that you asked me now why we selected Bertelsmann as investor, because many times when I've met other investors, I've got a revert. Don't tell me too much. Just tell me high level.
अच्छा.
And I was like, yeah, you gonna invest so much money in a business. Why don't you want to get into it? And now on the other side, it was Rohit at that time.
Oh, and
Give
Rohit
me
was not
this
being-
data, give me, and there were many data sets which I have never prepared in my life. I have to, but luckily we had the data. It was more like just
slicing and
preparing
dicing it.
preparing a report and send to you. But I was like, he's asking so much investment. What will he do with that? Is he gonna make my competitor? That was actually a positive thing for me also, that someone is trying to understand my business rather than just saying, don't give me too much information.
Actually, I've been able to introspect on this recently. Pankaj, I've not even shared this with you. That's my modus operandi, because we come early enough in any company's life, right? And it's the building phase. So by definition, it means that things are not running, on pilot mode. So everything will go haywire and then you need to fix it and solve it. And someday in the future, you can sit back and relax and say that now it's moving, right? At least the core part of the business. Now, in that, I have realized, somebody asked me recently, क्या problem पूछते रहते हो कि क्या problem है, कुछ problem नहीं है, right? And then I figured that, actually it gives me a sense of control. Because when somebody says that there is no problem in a business, I feel that we are headed for a train crash. And when I know what the problems are, it gives me whatever, either false or true sense of security. That these are the problems, this is the known universe, and if we work on them and solve them, then we have destiny in our control and it can lead to a large outcome. So I'm always looking and digging on what is it that we can solve, and that is actually a lot of fun to me. But there is one thing that I must mention. You probably know Bertelsmann and our love for food. And hence the Brunch Labs, Pankaj. There is only one, sore point for me in the portfolio. Till date, I have not been able to get Atul to have a meal with us in our office, be it a snack or a lunch or a dessert.
So I tried to do that.
Okay.
I met him in Trident.
And I ate a big burger at that.
And I ordered a big burger for him, right? And he was discussing the entire AI product to me. He spent 1.5 hours explaining the AI product to me.
Yeah.
and very passionate about it. Probably
always-
20 times I would have told him, please eat the burger, please
Yeah.
eat the burger. He would not touch the burger.
इसका स्टैंडर्ड सर खा लूंगा
See, उसमें मेरा extended
So
response
I
है
understand the passion, but he has to appreciate the passion that
See,
we have for food.
exactly.
See, you look at me. I have told it earlier also. Hunger will be the last thing I'll die of.
But it's not about hunger. It's about the love of food. It's a personal mission statement. And maybe I'll make it a CP of the next one. What will success look like for Basic and for you? Short term or long term? Like where do we need to be?
There's no short-term success.
Yeah.
Not going for short-term. Long-term only.
See, today I'll say that there are 2-3 things which we want to achieve. Number one, as I told you, we want to build distribution deeper into India. Today, 40% of our disbursements come from tier 2, tier 3 cities. The day this will be 80%, and probably tier 4 also, we'll say that we have built a very big distribution. Second thing is, I told you that we get about 6 to 8,000 crores of application every month.
Yeah.
But our disbursement rates are not 6,000 to 8,000 crores of every month. But the reason is not that that customer don't want to take money or we have not worked for the customer. There are some profiles which are currently unserved or underserved. So one of the 3 things in our strategy is that we want to create custom products. So we have already started doing that with few lenders even in risk sharing mode. So the day customer who comes on our platform, we are able to give them at least one offer. We'll say that, okay, we are able to provide that option to the customer. So that is the second thing I believe once we have that will be a success on our platform. And third, obviously, it's always that, if my teammates, my company people, they stay long term, make money out of this company. Because when I started with them on day one, although I said that we had 150 people joining, but although I was able to give them job, but I was not able to give them their market salaries. Though people even working at say 25,000 rupees salaries have taken cut to start with me. So I have to give it back to them.
Yeah.
So these are the 3 things which I believe if we were able to do, I'll say we have built some good company or good outcome out of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, investor returns are there.
No, I think from my perspective, look, the vision that you started with, where you said, India, we have to provide a lot of homes for our population. We are a very large population set, and people are leaving cities, moving into different cities. Migration is happening, etc. Income levels are rising, so people want to move away from rented accommodation and buy their own houses, etc. And the slogan that you have, which is "Har Ghar Basic Hoga." You make Har Ghar Basic Hoga, I'm sure we'll be very successful. We'll all make money. All of that will be byproducts. But the vision and the mission that you are running towards, I think we like that mission a lot. And if we are able to deliver on that, I do think we will make a very sustainable and a very impactful company for India. And of course, that will be very valuable, and hence it will have value in different terms for all of us. But I think that is what motivates us to be your partners in long terms.
Sure.
That's been my one learning also. Good markets can lead to good results and good outcomes. But if you want a great outcome, it has to be mission driven, and it comes from the founding team. Do you want to cover hardest challenges you have faced in company building?
See, obviously setting up the team is the biggest problem. As we are growing still, daily basis में आपसे ये discuss करता हूँ कि need good people because at the end of the day, obviously, we are the largest population with a big problem of unemployment, but still it is difficult to find the right people to do the job. And especially when you're working on something new, that team building thing is the biggest challenge. And then obviously there are some industry related challenges that we are building technology. So it's not like that we just build a tech and we start a product and then customer will start coming. We have to convince the lenders, we have to convince the customers, we have to convince our in-house team, we have to convince if we are working with builders to them also. There are multiple stakeholders. So one technology or one product which we build is not for one player, it is for 4-5 different players. So convincing every one of them to come on one page is actually one of the challenge in this industry.
I remember, and rightly so, that post fundraising, I think for 6 months, this is all we were doing, right?
Yes.
Hiring and interviewing, which is the right approach, I guess.
Let's conclude this episode with a fun rapid fire segment. What do you love most about Basic Home Loan?
The mission and the vision that Atul and the founding team brings to the table.
What's one lesson from your previous stints that still guides you today?
You have to think about the team. Team is the company. Products can be any, but you should always think about the team first.
What's one mistake fintech founders make when tackling complex categories?
Most of the times, I see founders put tech before fin, but fintech will always remain about finance first.
Can you describe Basic Home Loans' mission in one line?
We want to get rid of slums.
What do you think is Basic Home Loans' biggest strength as a business?
The mission.
How would you describe the ideal founder VC relationship?
I think I've said it multiple times. I feel that it needs to be a deep relationship. It needs to be one where both of us can speak our mind. And given that it's a long term journey, there will be ups and downs, but we find a way to work together.
What's the first thing you look for when evaluating a mortgage platform?
That's too specific. No, mortgage or lending platform. I've evaluated only one.
What's one metric you track obsessively?
Gross profit.
Which part of the lending value chain do you think will see the most disruption next?
I think distribution is still there to be solved. It's only solved for tier 1, then select use cases. So I think distribution will continue to be there.
What's one founder habit that signals long-term success?
The ability to come up with new ideas, experiment them, and if they are not working, then let them go and come up with new ideas.
What's one myth about home loans you'd like to bust?
That the cheapest one is the best. It's like, watching top 10 on Netflix, believing that that's the best that Netflix has.
In one sentence, why did BII bet on Basic Home Loan?
It was the energy and passion of Atul and the way he was able to convince us about the TAM and the opportunity over here.
Why should top talent join Basic Home Loan?
We are very open-minded. We'll give you place to experiment, and we try to be fun-loving people. And obviously, we are just try it out, I'll say.
What's one AI-powered productivity tool you're excited about?
I think ChatGPT and all the products that we're using these days.
What's one founder trait you consistently back?
Resilience. If a founding team has stuck with the problem for a while, that's a bigger proof point of the conviction.
What do you think is BII's biggest strength as a partner?
I don't know that it's the patience, after investing, that they give us time to build the company, that long-term capital commitment, that's the thing.
What was the last thing you asked ChatGPT?
Must be something to do with my kids' school, so I'm learning grade 4 grammar these days, becoming quite good at it.
What's one investment principle you rely on most today?
Go after very complex and large markets.
What was the last thing you asked ChatGPT?
So I was actually fixing something on my Google Sheet, so I wanted Gemini to fix the formula.
What's one investment principle you rely on most today?
So I'm a numbers guy, so I'll probably say the retention numbers in the business and the customer love.
Thank you.